What's going on, guys? Welcome to your 24th Java tutorial, again with me, Travis. And by now, you've kind of seen a lot of Java already. You kind of see how it works. You should be kind of familiar with methods and parameters that we can pass into methods and return statements. You know, some of the basic primitive data types, all that great stuff. But one thing that we haven't really discussed, or a few things I should say, is these modifiers like public. As you can see, public class, public, static, void, main. You know what the void means. It's not returning anything. You know, this is a method called main that takes basically a string array within the parameter. But we haven't talked about what static is or public. So that's what we're going to kind of get into in today's tutorial. We're going to learn about the access or the modifiers of a class. And then we're going to break it down into of methods and stuff like that. But first, all we're going to focus on is the class. And now there's two types of modifiers for a class. One is public, as you see here, and one is no modifier, which basically means package private, which basically means that it's only accessible to that package. And if you guys don't know what I mean, well, let's get into today's tutorial. So just change that to public and let's get started. Now what a package is, we've used them. I kind of deleted out some of our other classes that we had within this default package, but we had a ton of different classes within our package here. But we can also create a new package, and generally when you work with frameworks or something, you'll just have some other packages you can reference. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend that we added a package to our project that's some sort of a framework that helps us develop a character or something like that. So what we're going to do is now we're going to right click, we're going to go to new class within our new package that we created called character. And what we're going to do is we're going to say character setup, and we're also going to create another new class called like Tommy, something like that. So now we have two classes within this package called character. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open our character setup here, and all we're going to do is we're going to create an int variable called health. We're going to set that equal to be 100 to start out with, and we're just going to create one method that's going to return the health for us. So we're just going to say public int get health, nothing within the parameter, and what's going to return is again an int value, and we're just going to return our health, if I can spell. And there we go. Pretty simple, right? Now what we can do is we can go into our Tommy class and we can just say extends character setup, and now Tommy's going to have all the methods available to use when we create a Tommy object. And I'll show you guys what we mean here in a second. I'm going to save all my projects here, or all my classes and stuff, and we're going to jump back over to our starting point class, which is in a different package right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a Tommy object. I'm going to call this T, and we're just going to say a new Tommy object. Pretty basic there. And then what we're going to do is a system.out.print, and we're going to print t.getHealth. And now what we have to do is we have to add our imports, because it doesn't recognize what a Tommy object is. So we right click and we say import Tommy from the character package that we created, and there we go. Now again, the Tommy object, which we called T, has access to the getHealth method from the character setup class, because again we extended character setup, so we have access to this method. So we can just save this and run it, and we get 100. Cool, right? Yeah, kind of what we'd expect. But let's create a new character within our default package. We're going to say new class. We're going to call this one Travis, and we're just going to say extends character setup. Again, the character setup is from a different package. We're just going to say add import, so we have access to that package again. And now we can go back to our starting point class, basically do the same thing. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Instead of a Tommy object, we're going to create a Travis object called Trav, and we're just going to say get health, and we have to create a new Travis object there. So now we just save this, and for some reason it's saying we have a duplicate variable, so I'm just going to change this to be Travis instead, and then travis.getHealth. I'm going to change these print statements to print line so we get it on a new line there. And there we go, we save and we run and we get 100 and 100, which again we expect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the modifier within our character setup class here within our character package. So we're going to open that up and we're just going to delete this. Again, public means any class can have access to this character setup. But when we delete this, now what this means is it's package private. So we save our project and we're going to get some errors. Now we go to our starting point class, and as we can see, we have an error here with this get health. That's our only error pretty much, and Tommy's not giving us any problems because again, Tommy comes from the character package, so he has access to the character setup. Character setup's like, yo Tommy, you're my boy, you're cool man, you can use my methods. Travis, you gotta get out of here, you aren't from my hood, peace homie. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's how like the character setup class would talk. So what we're gonna do to fix this, well, we can't really fix it, we can't really use the method because again, Travis isn't from the character package, so we aren't allowed to import this character setup class and we aren't allowed to extend it. So I'm just gonna have to delete that, and you know, Travis isn't gonna have the powerful methods that's gonna be able to return the health. So we're just gonna save that and we're gonna have to delete this. Now we can just move the Travis into the character package, and it would be able to extend again the character setup. But those are the only two modifiers for a class, either public or no modifier, which again means package private. So only other classes within the package can access that class. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I know it's kind of long for just explaining that, but I kind of wanted to just give you guys an example so you see how that works. And just quickly, some of you guys might be like, okay, why would I ever use that? Well, if you're developing a framework or like a game engine, basically when you work with game engines or frameworks, you just add a ton of packages that people already have developed, and you can simply create something just by referencing certain things within that package. But if you're the one that developed that framework or developed that package that other people are going to use, you don't want them to have access to certain classes because it might mess up their program because they aren't using your framework properly. So that's why you would not have the public modifier on there and just have it set to private, have it set to package private. But that's kind of the reason why. In the next tutorial we'll talk about some of the modifiers which are going to be more important. You'll be using them more often. But that's pretty much it, and I'll catch you guys then. Have a good one.